All right, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Nightshift, and I'm from Austin, Texas, traveling with the Bicycle Superheroes.
I was going to ask about that, actually. I've seen some capes on some of the people out here. So that's the Bicycle Superheroes. What's that about?
It is a yearly, month-long ride that we do. Sometimes it happens twice a year. There have been rides across the United States. There have been rides in Thailand and England. Basically, about once a year, sometimes twice a year, a superhero calls a ride, gathers people up in a particular state, and for a month we travel around by bicycle doing community service projects wherever we are called to do so.
All right, excellent. Now, first of all, let's talk a little bit about you. What was the precipice moment for you? What was the moment that changed you from being someone who was just part of the world to someone who is active, being active in trying to make it better?
I would say there wasn't a single moment where I wanted to be an activist. It was more a sense of living and doing a little bit of activism or volunteer work or whatever you want to call it, and feeling like that was more of a fulfilling and more valuable and more useful way of spending my time as opposed to the other things I was doing, to the point that doing anything else for long periods of time didn't make as much sense. I guess.
Sure.
I can't say there was one moment. I mean, there's definitely a moment where my husband and I were like, yes, let's just do the ride, which has been a full-time thing, but overall activism has just sort of snuck its way in.
Now, you said did you have some small involvement with Occupy Austin at one point?
I was there for the first day of Occupy Austin, and I hung out off and on, cooked a lot of food. We lived just a couple of blocks from it, so we got to experience that.
Well, excellent. Now, can you describe your experience? What was it like?
I thought it was really beautiful. In Austin, there was a lot of organizations, and it was a big networking deal for Monkey Wrench Books and Yellow Bike Project, and Austin Free School was doing teach-ins, so it was definitely had a sense of a coming together for all the organizations and activist organizations that already existed, coming together and supporting each other, and I thought that was really awesome. I wasn't involved heavily in the organizing of it, though.
Right.
So I don't know what happened exactly with the behind the scenes or how easy it was for those guys. I'm sure it was really challenging.
Now, the superhero thing you guys are doing, can you describe, I guess, what that's like for you? So you're cycling around. I mean, I've got, there's an awful lot of bicycles here, a lot of tents, obviously, and let's see your cape, if you could
yes.
see, this. Nice. That's right. Cape. As you can see, superpowers. But anyway, I guess describe a little bit about, say, what the average activist activities of your organization is like.
We started off on a farm, and we've been to 2 farms. One renewable building studio, sort of education center. And those were all locations that we were sort of called to. We knew a little bit in advance about. We definitely headed towards, the studio was in Oxford, Michigan. The farms were 3 Roots Farm in Columbiaville and one really nearby. But what we typically do, and what we've done more than that, is actually we'll ride into a town not knowing anyone and not having any plans. We did that with Lapeer, Michigan and Pontiac, Michigan, where we just looked at the map and said, well, that's on the way to Detroit, which we knew would be a destination. Let's stop there to spend the night. And typically what we do is we ride into town and we send out scout groups to ask about service projects and campsites, which is a great combination of things, because basically we approach this town and say, we need help and we want to help you.
Right.
And that's caused beautiful interactions. It's been really amazing. We have definitely been helped equally.
That's
to
really
be healthily
cool.
done.
And in Pontiac, I grew up in Pontiac actually.
Oh, yeah.
It's little. Generally kind of call it. Pardon my mild profanity, but Pontiac is like Detroit's pissed off little brother. That's what it felt like growing up there. So, but yeah, I mean, it's good to see like some. I mean, just kind of an indulgence on my part. Tell me about your experience in Pontiac.
In Pontiac, we helped with the Boys and Girls Club. We got to go.
There are some great Boys and Girls Clubs there. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, totally. They were awesome, and the adult volunteers or employees or whoever, they were amazing. They just let us come in and start playing with the kids and painting faces. One of our members started up a bike workshop to show the kids how to put together and take apart bikes and do basic bike maintenance.
Wow.
That was wonderful. Through that, and on the way through that, we ended up getting hooked up with I guess it was a mental health community center, and we went and sang songs there and hung out with the people there who, when we showed up, and you can imagine our silly outfits and capes, they were like, we fit right in, and they were really happy to have us. I think that might have been where we also just went into a church and said, can we do anything? And they sent us over to the house of some people who needed furniture moved from an upstairs bedroom to a downstairs bedroom because the father or the husband of the house had been in surgery and could no longer go up the stairs. So we do that sort of, just any little things. We've weeded gardens for 15 minutes. We've moved furniture, but we've also played with kids for hours.
That's really great. Now, if you could pick a memory, something that really is life-changing for you that came about through activism, share it with the audience.
Coming into Detroit was life-changing. I'm like I said, I'm from Austin, Texas, and there's still a boom down there. We're doing great in Austin. People complain still, but just comparably, I can't believe the devastation that's hit Detroit. It's completely incomprehensible. And I don't watch a lot of television or even read a lot of news, but I don't know how much other people know about what's going on here. The flip side of that is coming into Detroit as we did, and there's 22 of us, so you can see a couple of bikes and a couple of tents here, but you can just imagine 22 people again in silly outfits. People stopped what they were doing to wave and smile. They were shouting, "We love you." They didn't know who we were. We came into this community with those firebombed houses down the street.
Yeah,
really,
a lot of that.
You can see this one's completely burned out. Maybe 5 of these houses are actually occupied by an owner right now, which you should interview Jason if you haven't already.
I'm going to
what
try.
He's doing.
Yeah, for sure.
To understand why we're in he's in this particular neighborhood, and we came here because we heard of what he was doing down at Occupy. But so coming in here and offering service, we have been so beautifully welcomed and served by the people in this community, in this neighborhood. They're so welcoming and loving and friendly and inviting and open-minded and intelligent, and that's really life-changing for me as someone who came from Austin, where everything is so prosperous and there's sort of walls up at the same time.
Right.
You come somewhere that's so devastated, but people, obviously there's still crime. I'm not trying to say this is some sort of weird utopia or anything, but it's not at all what we were what I was expecting, or many people on the ride were expecting.
There are a lot of parts of Detroit that are literally used as post-apocalyptic film sets for zombie films and different things like that. They're actually talking about making a zombie apocalypse theme park using portions of Detroit. It literally looks like it's just been destroyed. Like, it reminds me sometimes, I mean, obviously you don't have as much like just stuff laying around everywhere, but like it literally reminds me sometimes of like those World War II films where you're looking at what England looked like when it was bombed with V-2 rockets or something. It's just it's interesting that you bring that up, because there are so many people that don't get it. Like, they've never been out here, they don't know what it's like. I mean, especially when you try to live out here, like if you're trying to find a job, it's so hard because there's just nothing. And that's why I gotta say it's actually, it really hits home, with me and touches me that you came all the way from a place like that, and that coming here and seeing this for yourself really changed the way you look at things, and that's awesome. So, well, if anybody wants to learn more about the, your superhero movement, where would they go?
We don't have a website. We're kind of based, our headquarters is the Possibility Alliance, which is located in Missouri.
Okay.
If you do some online research, you might be able to find the phone number for the Possibility Alliance.
Okay.
And if you give them a call, they could probably point you in the right direction, but ultimately we're word of mouth. So look up, I don't even know the phone number. I sort of stumbled into it on accident.
That's okay. Well, yeah, I guess, start a Facebook group. They're free and they're easy, and a lot of people use Facebook. But, for sure, thank you very much for being on today, and thank you for being part of V-Radio.
All right, thank you.